Now let's talk about the GPS applications. So first, the GPS military applications. So it can be used for navigation. So for instance, for night operations, for coordination of troops and supplies, which is the most critical part in a war. So wars are usually seen through battles, strategies, and so on, but nowadays they are mainly won by logistics, and so the GPS gives a big boost to logistics. It's also used for target tracking. So for instance, weapons can use GPS to track ground and air targets and their own locations compared to the target. Especially air-to-ground weapons can target a given location, a given coordinate, and go hit this coordinate. So for instance, in missile guidance. It's also used for search and rescue. So for instance, pilots that eject from their plane have a GPS receiver and a beacon transmitting their location, so that it's easy to find them and take them back to their country. It's used for recon and map creation. So mapping based on GPS is something that's not only in military use but also for other services. It's also used, but it's derivative use for nuclear detection. So as a lot of countries, the USA signed for the non-proliferation of the nuclear weapons, and each country that signed this agreement has to provide some measures to enforce this non-proliferation, and mainly everyone has to provide nuclear unauthorized nuclear test detection. So the GPS satellites can measure radioactivity in the atmosphere from the space, and they can detect unauthorized nuclear tests. So since a lot of tests are now achieved underground, this doesn't work, but in France we use seismic. Our role is to use seismic sensors to track lots of things, and among these things we can track the signature of an underground nuclear test too. And in France, the GPS, so let's go back to the GPS as a positioning tool. It's used in Félin, which is the equipment of the ground soldier of the future. So for the infantry, you have this set of equipment with network connections inside the squads, with the command chain, with a GPS, and so on. We'll talk about civilian application a bit more with their different classes when we talk about Galileo.